And the next topic today comes to us from Diman Campos, who writes, "Hey John, a great fan since the AMC Movie Talk days and have learned a lot from you." Thank you very much, Diman. I appreciate that. The question is, if you think Ant-Man 3 will happen. I am a big fan of the character since 2008 and read the other day that the chances of a third one are very small. Did you catch the pun? Haha. Keep doing a great job. All right. So yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp, we talked about this a little bit the other day. Ant-Man and the Wasp is now, it still has to open in some big markets still because of the World Cup. It got put off being opened a little bit late in some international markets. Right now, it's made around $400 million, which means it's now crossed the breaking even point. Ant-Man and the Wasp is now officially a moneymaker. So it's profitable for Disney. Great for them. The first Ant-Man movie, made a little over $500 million at the box office. I still believe Ant-Man and the Wasp can catch that total. I'm not saying it will, but I believe it can still catch that total. And maybe even make more than the first Ant-Man. That being said, I don't believe there's going to be an Ant-Man 3. I do not believe there's going to be an Ant-Man 3. And I've got two main reasons for suspecting that. Now, let me preface this by saying I do not have any insider information on this. This is simply me speculating based on the information we have at hand. All right. Let's say even Ant-Man does make the $500 million mark. That will make the Ant-Man franchise two of the lowest grossing films in the MCU. The MCU has a lot of properties. And a little over a year from now, they're going to have even more properties when they get their hands on the X-Men, provided everything goes fine with all the government agencies, which is not a guarantee. But let's assume for a minute it does. A little over a year from now, Disney's going to have even more properties. The question would be, why would you invest more time and energy and effort into a franchise that's shown, even though it's making money, is amongst your lowest earners, when you could instead turn your time, energy, money, and attention to other properties that could potentially make more money than Ant-Man? So that's one reason why I think, as much as I love the Ant-Man movies, that's one reason why I don't think we're going to see Ant-Man 3. The second reason I don't think we're going to see Ant-Man 3 is that if our speculation, all of our collective speculation is correct, it looks like Ant-Man himself is really going to be fulfilling his big narrative purpose in Avengers 4, right? It looks like Ant-Man is going to play a key role in Avengers 4 and what happens in Avengers 4. We've already seen him in those set pictures and things like that, so it looks like, we're speculating, but it looks like he's going to play a key role. If that's the case, it looks like his main narrative purpose, like his destiny in the MCU, is going to be fulfilled in Avengers 4. With that done, there's not really going to be a heavy need to have an Ant-Man 3, 4, or 5. You can transition Ant-Man to that of a role of a Hawkeye, or of a Scarlet Spider, of a Scarlet Witch, or of a Black Widow. Where Ant-Man can become a supporting character in multiple MCU movies without having another standalone movie of his own. For those two reasons, the fact that while they've made money, they haven't been big financial blockbusters. And number two, it looks like his narrative destiny is going to be fulfilled in Avengers 4. I tend to believe we're not going to see Ant-Man 3. And I could be wrong about that. I hope I'm wrong about that. I love seeing Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, and I thought Evangeline Lilly was great in Ant-Man and the Wasp. I would love to see more movies focused on them. I just don't think it's going to happen. And if it wasn't for the Venom trailer, this probably would have been the question of the day. The question of the day probably should have been, do you think we're going to get an Ant-Man 3? Right now, I'm thinking we're not, which is too bad because I do love the franchise, but I get it. But what do you guys think? Do you think we're going to get an Ant-Man 3? Why or why not? Jump down to the comments section below and let me know what you guys think. All right, let's move on now to the next topic.